Ilana, can you confirm?
And
All good,
everything
right?
looks great.
Okay, well, thank you again. And yeah, so really the idea here, and I like to think keeping things very simple. I'm gonna show you first this PowerPoint. We're gonna kind of highlight some of the key features and benefits. Also, to give you a bit of background on Velixo, and yeah, after that we'll talk about the demo itself. We're gonna do a trial balance, and really, so what is Velixo, right? So the first thing is Velixo is really a live connector between Sage Intacct and Excel. We truly believe that, Excel is one of the most utilized softwares in the world by many accountants. And we're all about really embracing Excel, but obviously working with an Excel that is dynamic, that's well connected to your ERP system. So Velixo is really kind of the live Excel-based reporting solution. It would allow you to bring all that Sage Intacct data directly to life with our environment Excel that we know very well. And then we can also push any data back into Intacct. We can easily create live reports and, or report on any object and so forth. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to move to the next slide. Just as a little background on Velixo, we're founded in 2017. The company was founded by Gab Michaud. We're today the best performing app in the Sage Intacct marketplace from a reporting standpoint. We're a multi-award winner company, and we have a 4.9-star review on the G2 platform. We surpassed already the 2,600 mark in terms of customers. We already have a pretty good footprint across the globe, not just in North America, South America, but also Europe, as Intacct is quite present there, and as well Australia. South Africa as well. I didn't mention that. From a support, we really like to hub every single customer out of the gate, as we truly believe that the first few months are crucial for them to fully adopt the solution. So me personally, I'm very proud of the team that we have behind to support every customer, not just from a customer support perspective, but also from a customer success and so forth. We also have professional services if, let's say, you needed some help in building specific reports. The next slide here, really the goal for us at Velixo is really to help you maximize your ERP. Intacct is a wonderful ERP. It's really kind of the backbone of your business. But we truly believe that when it comes to slicing and dicing data, a lot of folks do like using Excel. They like the agility. And with Velixo, we can really boost that experience and help you get access to data quicker, insights, and of course, improving your overall processes. Here are the typical challenges that we see for the folks that have an ERP system but might not be using Velixo. Okay, the number one challenge I will say is the limited flexibility. When you have an ERP system and you have Excel, you always have that kind of limited flexibility, makes it kind of difficult to create the reports the way you want. And all that, what's going to contribute to is just going to add complexity to decision-making process. The next challenge, we know it's when you work with an ERP and you have Excel, they don't speak to each other. There's no real integration, if you will. So if you're constantly clicking the export to Excel button and kind of recreating those reports over and over, we kind of like to call it copy and waste. Just because by the time you finish in doing all the kind of formatting and all that, all your data is pretty much going to be outdated. And of course, the last challenge is, the slow data entry process. So if you manually entering data into your ERP, let's say you build your budgets on Excel, but you actually have to manually enter the data. One, it's super time consuming. That probably going to lead to human mistakes. And at the end of the day, that's definitely probably going to harm the quality of your data. Here, the last slide, I won't spend much time as we can actually go through the demo itself, but kind of want to highlight some of the kind of functionalities and features and benefits. Okay, so we are a very lean Excel add-in, very easy to install. And the good thing is Velixo doesn't require any extra costs in terms of implementations and so forth. The technology that we work with, it's purely API. We don't do data warehousing. So as a result, you will get your data always in real time. We do provide pretty huge library of multiple pre-built templates for companies that are looking to get a great head start or even get the templates that they want to use. They're ready to go. Those templates, they're also fully customizable. And again, as mentioned, we have a team behind us that can help you. If you don't have the bandwidth, let's say, to kind of tweak them or build them based on your needs, right? So in terms of our integration with Intacct, we're deeply integrated into Intacct. Obviously, we surpass all the security measures, we're SOC 2 compliant, and if you have, let's say, specific access to certain areas in Intacct from a data standpoint, those gonna be fully mirrored into Velixo. Access levels, user permissions, always gonna be fully mirrored in Velixo. We're fully bidirectional. Okay, I mentioned earlier on, we can pull data into Excel, but we also can push data back into Intacct. And from a user experience standpoint, at the end of the day, the learning curve of Velixo, it's not as steep. As we're not changing environments, we're still gonna be on Excel. So if you're already quite comfortable with Excel, which I think most of us are, the learning curve is really minimal. Okay, so you don't need to bug your IT team to help you build specific reports. Majority really of the folks that we work with, they're able to get ramp up on Velixo fairly quick. And what I'll do now, I'm just gonna switch gears and we're gonna actually do the demo itself. Okay, so okay, so I do believe now I'm sharing my screen again. And just gonna minimize this and I'll be showing you another screen right now, which is Excel. Nothing has changed in that sense. The only thing that we will need to do as kind of the first time, we'll probably have to install Velixo. And this is what exactly I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna show you how to install Velixo. So on the home section over here, we just need to go on the right-hand side into the add-ins and we can click on more add-ins. And what will happen is that the Office portal will open up, okay? Now, we'll just type in here Velixo, go on the search bar, and then we're gonna click on Add. I will say in a matter of seconds, not just a few minutes, Velixo will be installed on top of Excel, and you're probably going to be able to see the logo on the right-hand side in here. We also see over here in green, the Velixo Next toolbar with all the different functionalities that I will be walking you through. And I will say the next piece will be to kind of set up that connection with your ERP system, okay? There is a button called here Connection Manager, so we click on it and kind of already build the connection. Just want to make sure that we tested the internet connection and so forth. So we were good to go. But when you click here on the edit section, you'll be able to pick and choose the ERP system that you're using, And then we're going to be using the same credentials that you'll be using for Sage Intacct. Okay. We'll have to pick and choose also a name for the connection itself, as we'll be referencing this name when we actually building functions and formulas. Okay. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I won't click on connect again because we are already connected. As you can see here, the little check mark can confirm that the connection is valid. So as mentioned, really the goal is to show you how we can bring that data from Intacct into Excel. And to do so, what we're going to do is build a trial balance, a very simple report from scratch, so you can see how we can pull that data fairly easily. The first piece, and again, I did create already, and I put some parameters, and we kind of put some range of dates from to, and we also pick one location. I put location 100. And we have here the account codes. Okay, with the account codes, we can copy, paste them from a spreadsheet, but obviously we kind of want to avoid that, as that will create, or we can bring errors in here. What we're gonna do actually is something much faster, much more efficient. And since we are already in Sage Intacct connected in the ERP, we go into insert and insert chart of accounts. We're gonna click on insert so we can bring all our account codes in a quickly manner. The next piece, we'll say that's when we're gonna use our very first Excel formula or Velixo formula. And not different than when we use Excel, we'll type in equal, and we're also gonna type in SI for Sage Intacct so we can bring all the Sage Intacct formulas in. The first formula that we see, account name, kind of self-explains what we actually look into including here and bring all these account names. So we're just going to click on the formula itself, and we're just now going to follow and add the following arguments. The first argument that we see will be the connection name. When we created the connection on the connection manager, I did mention, hey, let's pick a name that's short and sweet here, Sage, 4 letters. That's the reason why. So what I'll do, I'm just going to type in Sage. And next, what I'll do as well is bring all our account names, which will be, sorry, I don't know, I'm having some issues here. Might be my screen. Okay, we're gonna do A6. And I'm just gonna do an aphen so we can bring the entire column. There we go. So we're able to bring all our account names fairly quick as well. And let's say here, and someone cannot change your name of an account, or someone adds a new account in Sage Intacct. I'm just gonna go here into Intacct. I'm gonna go into Home, Applications, General Ledger Accounts. And let's say someone changes the name of an account in Sage Intacct. We're gonna say hi Oasis. We're gonna change that name. Gonna click on save. And the only thing we need to do is once we create the report and we need the latest refreshment, we're going to refresh current sheet. And we get to see how Velixo syncs with whatever it's on Intacct. There you go. Hi Oasis. Okay. Same happens if we add a new account like at 10,011, it will show up in here. Okay. Now for balance, okay, we're gonna use another formula. I'm going to show you a different route. As I'm sure everybody knows, we can go into Insert Function. And over here, we're just going to type in SI to get all the Sage Intacct formula showing up. All right. So the formula that we're looking to bring in here will be the closing balance one. We just have to scroll down till we find that formula itself. We click on it and we're able to see all the different arguments that are required. But again, if you're not sure, that's totally okay. We do actually give you always access to a wonderful tool, which is our full resource center. And when you are on the formula itself and you click on it, you have the option to get more education on the formula itself and get all the support that you need in order to successfully build the formula. I'm going to go into help on this function. And what will happen, the hyperlink, it's going to take us to our center itself, where we're going to be able to read more about the formula, the syntax, what are the typical arguments that are required, but also multiple examples for you to get the best context possible on how to successfully use and maximize the formula. I'm just going to go back into our screen and we're just going to continue adding the following arguments. So we're going to click on OK. And what we'll do, same thing, we're going to bring the connection name. We did say at the beginning the connection name was Sage, so we put Sage. And then what we'll do is we're going to bring the account code in here. And then we'll do is the from date over here. And what we'll do is also the to date. And then we also set the location ID. Okay. Again, keep in mind, we can bring anything that you want from Intacct, such as books, dimensions, user-defined dimensions, whatever you want, okay? But for the purpose of this demo today and building this trial balance, we won't need any of those. So what I'll do now, just click on OK. And we get to see how Velixo is pulling the information from Intacct, again in real time. And there you go. We're just going to add here the $sign. And now we can pull the intercolumn so we get to see every single balance for every single account, specifically for this range of dates and this location. Now, we are on a live Excel sheet. If we change here the date ranges, the numbers will change, everything will update, the same with the location, okay? And since we're doing this trial balance, what I'll do now, just gonna copy and paste the column to bring more information. And we're gonna say, okay, instead of location 100 over here, we're gonna do location 200, so we can bring all the data in real time. And we're also gonna do the same for location 300, okay? I just changed locations, but again, you also can change the dates, so you get all information that you need refreshed. And since we're doing this trial balance, I'm gonna kind of finish off this with the consolidation column. And what we'll do now is, since we're on Excel, we're gonna use a very simple Excel formula, which is equal C6 plus D6 plus E6. And there you go. We put the entire column, and here is our trial balance completed. Okay. Now you save this report, and again, you don't have to export to Excel and then format everything, work on that static data. Those times are gone, where now you can just create this report, save it on one tab, save the next report on the next tab, and then whenever you have the need to see your latest numbers on the report itself, we can go and refresh the current sheet the entire workbook or all open workbooks. Okay. And now what I'll do, I'm gonna switch gears and we're gonna talk about the actual financial template stack. Okay. And as mentioned, at Velixo, there's the tool itself will allow you to get that connection live, but also we provide you with libraries or multiple pre-built templates based on the best use cases that we've been kind of working with throughout the years with our customers. We made more industry specific. So in our kind of resource center, you'll be able to see that we have now pre-built templates for construction or non-for-profit and many more. In front of our eyes, we have a P&L, okay? We also have a P&L. Profit, just to know. But on this specific P&L, I will say we can actually switch locations. We can aggregate all the locations that we want. Globally, just in US, the same applies with departments. And here is the date as of, okay? If we change the date, kind of the numbers will refresh as well based on the, and now let's say we see over here number piques our interest under options under 10, and we kind of would like to know and to understand what are the accounts that contribute to over $90,000. So we're gonna open again the Velixo NX, click on the Velixo NX toolbar, and we're gonna go and click into drill down. We're gonna say, okay, we're gonna drill down on this specific cell just to see what's behind that number. And now we get to see Velixo working, pulling that data from Intacct, and then a new Excel tab spreadsheet opens up. So we get to see now all the accounts that contribute to 90,510. But now let's say we're going to take this another step forward and look at, okay, what are the accounts or what's the specific account that we want here, sorry, and what are the transactions that contribute to, let's say, $36,000 under professional fees expense. We're going to click on view transactions. And hopefully soon we get again Velixo to pull that data from Intacct. Okay, so now we get to see all the different transactions that contribute to $36,000. But now let's say we want to take this another step forward. Okay, and there's a great, amazing thing about Velixo, the flexibility to go from any Excel cell straight to the source in Intacct. So what we're gonna do is now this specific bill, $1,500, we're gonna say, okay, view batch, click on view batch, and that take us into Sage Intacct. Okay. It takes us exactly at the bill level, and we can actually go and see the invoice itself by just clicking on the clipboard. So this, I will say, is one of the most popular functionalities that we have. Obviously, we have other ones that are very critical, but this will allow you to be very agile between your Excel sheet and Intacct, so you can navigate between the both in a fairly quick manner. Okay. Now, the next piece I want to see and show you the next functionality here will be kind of the distribution list. Okay. I'm just going to bring the tab here called distribution list, hopefully in here. And this is just a great tool to share reports across your company for, just the sake of sharing, but also for the sake of collaborating. if you're actually working with different peers and you want to work together on the same report, well, there's a cool way of being able to kind of share those reports where you can actually pick and choose the format of the report. You want to kind of just share a very static report just for viewing, or do you want to actually share a report that's fully dynamic with all the embedded formulas that will be very Velixo pertinent or Excel pertinent or and so forth until we just pick the fully static. Okay, we can pick and choose the file name, the tab selection, again, and here we'll be able to put all the different emails. Okay, and then envision this tab, you can have multiple tabs. Okay, you can have a tab just for your leadership team, another tab just for the accounting team. Anyways, you can duplicate those tabs and kind of make them more your own. In here, for example, we can have all the emails for all your team in finance, and we just kind of put a quick subject, a body, and what we can do is share and send it out through Velixo that will kind of push it into Outlook. And then let's say every Monday morning, your team will be able to, you know, have the visibility of a specific report that you all guys can work together. Okay. The next piece I will say very popular as well is the write back functionality, and that will allow us to push any data that we want from Excel into Intacct. Okay, so here's kind of the write back, and just to give a bit of context, we have two tiers of write back. More the kind of entry level that will allow you to write back anything related with journal transactions, budgets, project forecast. And the more advanced tier will be the universal write back, which is to write back anything outside of those three. For example, AP bills, they're not on the list, so that will be considered universal write back, or custom fields, for example, that you have in Intacct that will apply under the universal write back. Okay, so just to give you a bit of kind of better context now, I'm just gonna click on budget, and I'm gonna say we're gonna actually do our budgets for 2026. We're gonna click on insert. And as you can see, a new template opens up. Okay, this template will allow you to fill in all the details of your budgets at all different periods. And whenever you completed this, you can actually easily now say, okay, I want this to be pushed back into Intacct. So we do here perform write back, and all that data will be pushed into your ERP. Okay. The next piece, I kind of want to show you now. Sorry, my window, it's a bit small so I can see the bottom, but now it's really, again, going back into the write back itself. I want to show you this example more in real action. With this clear example, this is actually our very first company that put a request to the help section, submit an idea, and they were doing a lot of manual work and they were doing a lot of manual entries into Intacct. And they really asked us if we could build something that will help them automate all that. Okay, so we look into it and fairly quick we're able to code this. And as a result, all our customers now can benefit of the write back functionality. So this is a liability insurance company, and liability insurance companies, they work with something called a GL rate. Okay, GL rate, that's a name for this specific rate, but it's a rate that kind of fluctuates quite a little bit. And this is why every time there's a fluctuation, they kind of had to kind of push the information into Intacct, which could be pretty time consuming and obviously quite difficult at times because a lot of mistakes can happen. So with write back, we can automate all that. And what I'll do is here it says 325. Okay, I'm just going to change it to 10. And you'll see that the total accruals will update in here. Okay. Now that our Excel sheet is ready to go, we're going to say, okay, now instead of manually entering every single field, what we're going to do is we're going to push this information into Intacct. So we're going to say, okay, let's perform the write back. Click on perform write back. current sheet. And what will happen next is the Sage Intacct opens up, a journal entry gets created, transaction number, and here we get to see all the numbers that we had on Excel represented into Intacct, okay? Now, I'm just gonna make a quick comparison so you can see exactly that the numbers have fallen kind of the right field. And we get to see over here that we have 7657, 1642, 1642, 3549, 3549. Okay. Now, small detail, when we actually push that data into Intacct, we did put or leave it here as should we post it, and we said no. Okay. We did send these information into Intacct as a draft. And just as best practices, we do recommend the teams at the beginning to do that. But also we know companies sometimes have some sort of an approval process. So they have teams doing this as a kind of draft, and then someone higher up to kind of confirm and officially post it. When you look at here into Intacct, you'll be able to see that we're still as a draft mode. And once we've verified everything is okay, we're able now to kind of click on post. So the transaction will be fully official into our ERP. Okay. Now, the last little piece I kind of want to show you is the actual resource center. We kind of touch on the resource center later, early on when I show you the formulas, and we can find every single function formula in here. But, you know, as a kind of new user or new customer, you have all the resources that you need. Again, you have a big team behind us, customer service, customer success, but here is where everything lives in, okay? And let's say you want to get started with Velixo and you don't know exactly how to do so. We go click on get started, and then here we just kind of follow our steps on how to install Velixo itself, on how to set up the connection, and it's everything very well explained in the resource center, okay? And another thing here I kind of want to highlight again is the templates. They're all pre-built for you. We always can customize them, help them customize those. And here's where you find, you know, all the different templates that are more financial report templates, where you can actually say cash flow forecast, budget based. We click on it so you can read more about it. You can actually, you know, see also a visual of what the report itself will look like, and you'll be able to download it in here further down. And once you have your license and connection ready, basically you'll be able to easily pull data and push data back into Intacct. Okay.
Yeah.